Welcome, everybody, to the EGF High School National Championship. That's live in San Antonio, Texas, but it's a pretty British broadcast today. My name is Spectrion, and joining me today is going to be Crumble. How you doing, Nat?
I'm doing all right. Yourself? It's been a hot minute since we've casted together. Bit of a dynamic duo, I think, and I'm interested to kind of hop over the pond, see what's going on in NA at this kind of level. I've been keeping up myself a lot with OWCS APAC, so I'm interested to see. I feel like we've already seen a lot of things kind of trickle down from OWCS APAC. Obviously, Cat Bastion is the big headline, and I'm interested to see if we're gonna maybe see some of that today.
Yeah, it's honestly an incredibly powerful composition. It's so hard to counterplay unless you're really, really locked in. And, these high school teams, they're fantastic players, but they're probably not, triple blocking every night. And so they might find it just a really easy way of finding value. But equally, this is also where we see lots of teams just, they play to the beat of their own drum, right? They often not too fussed about the meta because they have a style that works for them and they want to stick to it. And so some teams will see it because it looks fun, it looks, relatively easy, they'll go towards, and other teams will be stuck on whatever they've been stuck on, and they'll see how far it takes them. So it's going to be a mixture, I believe, but it's always interesting to see the AC-130 come out. It's like nothing we've had in the game so far.
Yeah, I feel like at this kind of level, this is where you kind of see one tricks do their thing. You see your Junkrats, you see your teams that want to play around like that watch John Bin and get goosebumps and decide they want to run it down on ball.
As they should.
As they should. I mean, hey, if you're gonna watch someone play ball, definitely John Bin. But yeah, I mean, it's been interesting, I think, to see Cat Bastion trickle down, because it did take a little bit. I remember when we were first seeing it in APAC. I remember, there's plenty of your YouTube OWCS coaches and people who make these videos. I think we want to Cage, OC, I think as well, making these videos. Cat Bastion is so silly, and then you blink, and in almost every region, people, at least some,
it's being at least touched.
Cat Bastion. It's being played with in pretty much every single region at the moment. So. And I kind of love it. I hope it doesn't stick around too long, because it is a little bit gimmicky. But
if it lasts longer than Tokyo, I'll be mad, I think.
Yeah, I think we don't want to really see it too much coming into Tokyo. But plenty of teams have been finding countermeasures too. I think we've been seeing a little bit. I think we saw an instance of a team playing into Soldier as well to counter, which is insane. We're getting OWCS Soldier playtime. You don't really get that much. But I think there are definitely countermeasures you can make. Obviously, we've got ban systems in place, so you can at least guarantee 2 maps of not having to play into it, and at least a couple maps of maybe being able to disable how impactful it is by getting rid of the Honor, because obviously the Nano boost is really important to that Cat Bastion cycle, or maybe the Diva to help protect it.
You could also veto into something like a New Junk City, where it's a little bit harder to position that Bastion for really aggressive cycles like you often want to go towards, which obviously doesn't disable the comp entirely, but does allow you to spend more of that series just not having to deal with it at its full power. Like it could be on, for example, a Blizzard world where we don't have that same amount of cover to work with, right? So there's definitely counterplay to it, but it seems like in Asia, both sides are happy to mirror it out. That's why we saw Zeta and Crazy Raccoons play it in the grand finals, for example. So it is something that's obviously heavily played, even if it is unique. And I think it's something we'll be seeing in the upcoming weeks of Overwatch. Obviously, we've got Tokyo coming up. We've got World Cup group stages.
Yeah, that's
Face
true.
Playoffs.
Super excited about
Tier 2 next week.
I haven't been following Face a lot. I know you're a big Face It guy. I've been mostly following just regular OWCS. Especially APAC, they've been playing a ton. APAC have been just putting in so many games. I think that's also why we're seeing more Cat Bastion. I feel like they're just getting more match time, and they're able to unlock it a bit more. APAC, they're known for these ridiculous 8-hour scrim blocks. They're going all day. Whereas we've seen a bit more, I guess, work-life balance from teams like Twisted Mind, where after they win after they win the OWCS Grand Final, it's like, okay, we're gonna take a full 2 weeks off. We're gonna really take the foot off the gas. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm looking at public consensus in pubs rather than OWCS. Obviously, we have Sierra now, who I think she is I think people feel a little bit mixed on Sierra.
I feel like with
Yeah.
Sierra, your opinion often depends on your rank. Her win rate in the lower elos, very high, because she just does a million damage. But higher elos, when she can struggle to secure kills, a little bit different. Obviously, we do have all these heroes that we've been talking about available. Our bans are through. It has been Malga and Symmetra from both sides. And as you saw, Nepal to start this winners the upper bracket final. Sorry, between upper bracket 1 game, got there in the end.
Yeah.
Between West High School and Independence High School. So we should be ready to get into the match in just a second, see how things are looking in the lobby. But I mean, we mentioned Sierra in, Cat, Bastion all in. This could get really weird really fast, Nat. But I do have to say, Sim and Malga are both very valid bans at this moment as well, right?
Yeah, I feel like I feel like Symmetra is genuinely, when it is working, one of the strongest DPS heroes in the game. The teleporter is just so valuable to be able to rotate around, and especially on the pool on the I'm forgetting the name of the submaps. Shrine, the indoor map. Is that Shrine? No.
Yes, I think so.
I think so. So the indoor map on the pool, you often will have these fights that kind of rotate around each other, around these long, but you know, on the outskirts of the point and this pit on that point. So a Symmetra can really close the distance quite well. And honestly, on control, Symmetra is a super valuable tool to just getting to the point quicker, the start of the round and stuff like that. So wanting to maybe take that out of the equation, maybe you're looking to play into the D.Va and like play the D.Va yourself, and the Symmetra is a little bit scary for you. And coming in, we're already seeing a glimmer of the Cat Bastion.
Oh, Independence High School starting on something pretty fun. Mars, a lot of control over how this is going to work mechanically, but it's Vintage the one who's calling the shots, right? The one who is in control. West High School missing out on a hit scan, really might struggle to deal with this Cat Bastion. Nobody can really reach out and touch it.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of relying on Tuyu more than anyone to really place pressure, but that cat can just completely kite away already. Mars being taken around the world. Yes, indeed. So they're going on quite the flank, but you're missing out on the fight. And already, we see Ghost Boy take out combat, and this is a nice, fast, aggressive fight here from the Vikings. Really, really punishing that front line when the Cat Bastion just was on a bit of a side quest.
I like the idea of the flank. I think trying to set that up and hoping his team just isn't engaged on is maybe a little bit of wishful thinking, unfortunately. It takes a lot of time off the clock there. Independence High School maybe just doesn't have the freedom for that West. Get first cap and begins to push forward deeper, looking for eliminations.
Yeah, Suzu already out, and now the punish can happen. Panic goes down, and Vintage, all their efforts being put into that Bastion. Mr. Bogus is already taken out too, and you kind of wondered to yourself, is this Cat Bastion worth it? Your front line, the rest of your team are getting punished so consistently, so quickly. Vikings are taking these fights so quickly to the side of the Falcon.
I don't think the Cat Bastion is necessarily the issue, but I think we do have to be a little bit more decisive with it, making sure we're singing up these swings correctly. As we walk, now we need a cycle to be active, and indeed, that's exactly how it works.
Mars dropped in like a nuclear damn bomb. Ghosty Boy taken out first and foremost. Now the speed gone. You're going to struggle to kite. Buddy, no one to help them kite with that speed boost. Recall to you, joking. So in the wound for this fight as the Falcons finally get this Cat Bastion going. With quite a nice pincer, they managed to pull it off it.
Yeah, I've been there before, my guy, but that doesn't make it any more fun. Unlucky for two of you guys vanished into the ether. Independence High School first cap here, and with the Bastion set up, surely it'll be a little bit easier for them now. Yeah,
nice opening fight for the Vikings here. You like to see that rush coming onto point, and Falcons have really nothing to deal with it. No ults on the board, and this is kind of just a free fight win here for the Vikings, so they can kind of just click their buttons and get point control back. 25% on the board for the Falcons. They need to re-engage quick.
Your opponents did spend relatively heavily though for this, right? They used 3 ults. The B is pretty far away from Ghosty Boy. Buddy, let's sure the Blade's going to be available, but Independence can walk in with essentially the full 5. See what happens. Yeah, behind on point percentage, but just that sheer ult bank is something to be very, very worried about.
Yeah, and already Buddy going in, helping themselves with more ultimate charge. Might not even need that Blade at the end of the day. Combat has gone down. The rush comes out from Panic. We're looking at a little bit of a resurgence of this fight, but you cannot just fight this Orisa on your own. That's why Mars is here. Vintage as well with the catnap takes King Size off the map. Perfect point for it. This catnap is going to get tons of value on this submap.
That it will. So many targets. Twitch to drop off the map. Obviously, Independence use more than a couple buttons as well, but DPS ults here still pretty nice. The bash and ult to try and split a rotate. Maybe try and get a kill if somebody's not quite paying attention, but it is going to be the overclock that has to be the hero factor here. Combat. Oh, well, pre-fighting to you.
Yeah, now you're kind of forced to try and engage as quickly as possible with this blade. And the beat comes out to support it. Combat, not really able to find much with that OC. Does get taken out. Buddy being warded away by Mars. The deflect is scary, but they managed to have some tricky control there. But with Bogus down, your front line is really, really gone. You don't really have any ultimates to punch back, and 97% and counting. It looks like this Orisa comp, the sturdy comp here on this map. All Reliable is going to come out on top.
I'm not quite sure that's where Mars intended to finish off. I thought it was just, hopping to the high grounds. But it happens. And even if not, someone needs to get a touch, and not the end of the world at all. Nice first point there from West High School, able to punish. Like I said, that tempo more than anything else from Independence High School. And Independence are making some changes over to the Winston. But I have to say, I'm not sure that's any better than the Hazard necessarily. I feel like the game plan's still the same, but I feel like Hazard just a little bit easier applying to the bash and cycles, taking a little bit more damage. Winston, great dives, right? Great pressure available, but you will just explode if anybody looks at you, and that is a possibility at the moment.
Yeah, and you don't really have anyone to go with you, right? I mean, you do have the swings with the Cat Bastion, but in the neutral, you don't have a Tracer, which I feel like is a key component to that dive. And on the other side, you have Tuyu, who can kind of just avoid that Winston, really place pressure, just like you would into a bull when you're playing Tracer. But already a very strong swing from Mars. Managed to force the recall. Are they going to chase Tuyu down? It looks like it. No, Tuyu is going to be forced down. That's a 45 situation on point here. Can the Falcons make use of this kite from their Tracer? No pressure on them, really, from multiple angles. And so you can just look down main, one angle, and just press left mouse button.
So an easier point, perhaps, for the Cat Bash. And Mr. Bogus on the Winston as well. Seems much more in control. Double from him. Mars set up. And West High School rebuffed. I think as well, it's just very hard playing that comp on sidelines such as this. But curious they're sticking with this double flex DPS here, Nat, because Reaper Tracer, sure, it's nice, but again, who's going to take care of this Bastion?
Yeah, Mars seems to really be warming up, and Vintage has been doing a good job at living and swinging them in nice and aggressive already. Pressuring out Tranquility on this Kiriko. Suzu has been forced. Although no tether attached, Mars is under a bit of fire from the Reaper. But Buddy actually looks back, catches out the Monkey. And again, this is the thing. You're diverting so much resources to your Bastion in this scenario. Your Winston will just blow up into this front line.
Yeah, die triggers in the end of the day, breaking up the Bastion. 31% nice for Independence High School, but this recontest is going to be somewhat tricky. Obviously, with the swap to the comp of the Reaper, the idea is just to make the Winston's life as hard as humanly possible. So a lot of pressure now on Mr. Bogus, see how long he can survive. Long enough to take care of Ghosty Boy at the very least.
Yeah, those are the swings we want to see. Grapple again. Ooh. Mars being dropped off a little bit more than you'd like to see in a very vulnerable position. Now, just about living.
The lifeline.
Ramatra. Oh, Kingside's got to be mad about that they didn't pick up the kill.
The lifeline doing its job in the most literal of ways. They're able to extricate Mars from the clutches of Kingside. 40% now for Independence High School and quickly climbing. They didn't want West High School to have the lead for too long. All ults now coming online. The ults, in theory, I think a smidge better for West High School, but Independence is so much easier to find value from.
Yeah, Tranquility moving on to the Baptiste is an interesting pick here, right? That's going to be a bit better at contesting the Bastion, who is dropping their bombs down on the point. Can be able to find Ghosty on the Lucio. That's such a vital pick. King Size does trade. Stick goes wide on the Pulse Bomb. It's a bit of a neutral here as Mars looks to be caught out. We're going to see this Annihilation come through. King Size doing as much as they can to make their point their own. And they're throwing a lot of ultimates down. Don't know if Bogus really needed to use that Primal Rage there. It gets caught out anyway. You're another ult down, but 81%. That's nothing to scoff at.
It will take a little while to build, and if you aren't Bogus, you'd rather save it through to an opportunity where you'd find a little bit more value from it. So, fortunately, a bit of an overspend from Independence High School, but they still have plenty more to invest. An attempt to dive bomb the Lucio. Ghosty has exploded before this time, will survive, but maybe there's another victim here for the Bastion.
Yeah, Wraith Force, not a lot of survival cooldowns. The beat comes out. King Size getting an opening pick onto combat. Now your OC is gone for this fight. This is exactly what West High want. They just want to draw out these fights, get picks in the long game, and they're just happy to stack together on point. This is a really, really hard nut to crack here. They're just so strong when they stack together.
Indeed, Ghosty Boy survives the hit and gets one for his troubles as well. Again, eclipsing your opponent's point percentage is West High School. Again, they got good tools for it. The window, more than anything else, has to be a threat Independence deal with. But again, Catnap here. If anybody strays towards Cliffside at all, then Vintage might be able to get a free opening pick.
Wing. And the Immortality Field not on the Baptiste anymore. Panic takes it out. We see the OC and the Rush come out. Falcons are putting absolutely everything they can into this fight before the Vikings can even press a button themselves. Just the Reaper and the Lucio really left on point to try and make a difference, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to rate this out. Let's find these kills. Let's clean it up. And it's a pretty close one here. It's this last fight here for the Vikings. They need to find a touch in order to maybe swing and win this map right here, right now.
Ghosty Boy and Buddylet as well get late spawn, so they're going to be a little bit late to the party. Sure, a touch will be able to manifest, but it won't be as full. 5 Independence High School in the driver's seat at the moment.
Window coming out, looking for that pressure, looking to take down the bubble, but the boop! Oh, the boop and the pulse bomb. 2U picks up 2 kills, and that is all she wrote for this fight. That was the nail in the coffin. Really making a redemption after recalling off the map, coming up big in that last fight. And Vikings, they come back, they swing hard, and they manage to get up the first map win on Nepal.
Yeah, well played by Independence High School, but simply not enough. West High School clutched at that final fight in an opportunity where it wasn't necessarily optimal for them, right? Like I said, they maybe had some split spawns, having to just close a lot of distance into Cat Bastion. But they're able to make it work off the back of, you know, a mixture of good fortune and good skill. And now, because of that, up 1-0 in our first upper bracket game of the day. The Falcons, though, acquitted themselves nicely. And so now they're the ones with first ban. They're the ones with first map pick. Might be able to do a little bit better as we start thinking about the future.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some glimmers of hope, right, with the Cat Bastion. There's a reason why we mostly see it at the top level. It is a silly composition, right? Flying around a Bastion in turret form, but it is actually quite hard to make work, right? The Bastion is such a big target, and if you look at the Bastion can blow up, and if you look at the front line independently as well, the front line can blow up. It's why we need to see these dives be so cohesive, even more, I would say, than your kind of traditional dive with a Monkey and a Tracer or Genji or whatever it might be. It's really hard. And we saw some glimmers of hope from them, but yeah, Vikings just kind of played what was more consistent. They played into the brawl, stood together, and that especially makes your like flex support's life so much easier. Just to be able to especially on like the Baptiste, all that AoE healing when they switched to that Ramatra comp, I think really that was a really good comp switch for them. Not only to be able to stack better together and get better AoE heals, but obviously also the Baptiste being hit scan can also pressure the Cat's at the same time.
I mean, I think a ban of the Bat might not be a bad idea necessarily for West High School. If you start thinking about that next point, or Independence High School, sorry. The Baptiste, I think, was one of the big factors that got them that level of success, having the pressure on the Bastion. That being said, I feel like your best protocol probably would be that Reaper, because I do think just making Mr. Bogus's life as uncomfortable as possible was what, you know, found the most success for the Vikings, and what I would probably try and take away. And then I'd go towards something with like longer range, you know, something or other, like a Blizzard World, something like that. Because you're playing double hit scan, your opponents are playing double flex. There's just no reason to play at their sightlines. You might as well play at your own ranges and see how well you can punish it. Got a couple options available, obviously. It's a pretty big map pool, but, you know, also Hollywood might work, Havana, Kings Row even. Anything like that I think would be a very valid strat.
Yeah, if I'm being completely honest, I think Independent High School, I think you just move off the Cat Bastion. If it was that inconsistent, I think you just move off it. The only fights they were really winning was off the back of 2U or Bogus, or just kind of pressing all their ultimates, right? So I think you kind of have to reconsider playing the Bastion here. You know, if you want to, there's plenty of other options. I think if you want to play into that kind of split dive, you know, play that Tracer, play with a Lucio, you know, have that split, have your 3-2 dive. split. There are other options out there if you want to be playing these like pincer style comps. I think I think maybe they pick a map where the Cat Bastion can work as good as it can, and if it doesn't work there, I think you just have to give it up, because again, it is a very difficult composition to nail. And when your opponent is just gonna be able to stick together on a brawl comp and ignore the Cat Bastion, rotate away from it, and then just press on your core with a Reaper or Martra, yeah, Bogus ain't living that.
Yeah, I think the idea is mostly to just not be there as much as humanely possible, right? Like, that's why I kind of like the Haz a bit more than the Winston. He's got a bit more opportunities just to deny that brawl in him, by use of the jagged block, by use of the wall, by use of the leap. But, even better, in my opinion, is why I really like people playing Bull in situations like this. Obviously, this is a full UK broadcast. We've just signed fated Bull OTP Golden Pants to our, national roster. So we are a bit biased, but also...
Yeah, a little bit.
You might as well Bull, right?
I feel like it's, especially on Control, and especially on Nepal, I feel like it's quite a good Wrecking Ball map. Maybe it's not in the hero pool, but I'd be surprised because Bogus already played, like... kind of flex between the Winston and the Hazard probably has a proficiency for dive heroes. Normally when you see people be kind of switching between these dive heroes, you'd expect them to have Wrecking Ball in their kind of repertoire as well. We'll have to see moving on to the next map. I don't know if we have any confirmation about that. It looks like we're still just waiting in the wings. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. I am actually surprised that from West High School we didn't see them commit to just bringing out a Cass or an Ashe or something, and committing to fighting the Bastion with a bit more hit scan pressure. Seems like they just didn't really care, which, I mean, it's kind of cool. Just ignore the Bastion, go for the core. But like you said, we shouldn't really be seeing Bogus go down if they're ignoring the Bastion. The whole idea of the Cat Bastion comp is that you just play as separate. Everyone on your team is playing as split as possible, as survivable as possible, and then you all coincide, rather than your traditional like 3-2 dive split, where you're a bit more reliant on your teammates being around you. Which again is why it's so hard, because if you don't have that good positioning, like we saw, Bogus would just get caught out and just explode.
I mean, yeah, the goal is to live as long as possible, so see if your Bastion finds value. If your Bastion doesn't find value, either you need to go faster, or your team is just dying too fast for you to realistically play the game. Obviously, option one, very, very counter playable. All you have got to do is, W key a little bit more, essentially. Option two, you maybe do want to consider swapping, but, what do you kind of swap to, right? It was clearly what they want to play. At no point during map one did they ever attempt to make that switch. And so they're going to probably be having a conversation at the moment saying, do we want to stick with the Cat Bastion? Is that what we want to play? Or do we want to veto it away, perhaps? Just target ban our opponents and maybe bring them to something a little bit different? Because more than a couple times, our Cat and our Bastion weren't playing that connected, right? A couple of times we saw turret forms from main, our Cat's on a solo angle. We even a couple of times, Mars just gets dropped into like 3 people and is forced to fend for himself with just like the recon form. So
yeah, we did see that a couple of times. I think there needs to be a bit more of a general, like a bit more of a consensus about that. I don't think that maybe Mars knew they were being just dropped into 3 people. I mean, if you were the Bastion being tethered, you wouldn't say, "Hey, drop me here into the Ramattra and Reaper right now. I'm gonna pop off." I don't.
I'm feeling really.
Yeah, true. I mean, it is good to leave the Bastion on angles sometimes, because sometimes you need to put the rest of your team, or if you want to set up on a solo angle, or especially for Catnap as well, if you want to set up on a solo angle to set yourself up for a good ultimate. But I think just a bit more fluidity. We saw some moments of brilliance with the Cat Bastion, and it can work very, very well. But also I don't think I saw a lot of maybe a lot of confidence in or the swings didn't seem to be giving Mars the LOS that Mars needed. It was kind of, we're going onto a person, where really when you're swinging on Cat Bastion, you really want to be swinging for sightline in general, rather than just a specific person all the time, because otherwise you're setting your Bastion up for, okay, well, now they've clicked turret form, and that person, if it's a Lucio, if it's Tracer that you're trying to force out, that person's gone. If you don't get a kill, and now you have no turret form, you probably used your nade as well, and now you're just kind of a sitting duck. You'd rather set yourself up on average for more success by just swinging for a general angle, to put pressure on.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that.
If you can restrict the long sight line, your team can like set around and punish it much easier.
Yeah.
The target, it's a little bit harder for your team to adapt on the fly. Is the short of it. Obviously, you can. If somebody is on their own, deal with them.
Yeah, you can. But also, you had two on Tracer. Oh no, you didn't have two on Tracer. Sorry.
No, you had the Sojourn. Exclusively. Pick through, by the way, King's Row has been picked into Cat Bastion here. Playable, not necessarily played all that often, so it doesn't give us too much info just yet. But then again, everybody picks King's Row map too. Everybody.
Scrim's right. Yeah, I think that the Cat Bastion, I think first point is okay. Third point, it's all right. Second point, I don't know. I think it can work, but your cat has to be very good at maneuvering you around these kind of more enclosed lanes, because if you're not playing tight enough with the tether to around cover, you're just with those sightlines, you're gonna get caught out so easily, or can at least pressured out and not be able to swing aggressively. I'm expecting probably Vikings to just run it down on this Ramattra. Maybe we see a Ramattra brand come out actually, or as you said, probably the Reaper.
Well, Veto is through, and it's an interesting one, I think. Arisa going to be banned out first from Independence High School. They did struggle with it, to be fair, on the map number 1, right, on a Sanctum, and on King's Row, it is more Sanctum-like in general. That being said, your opponents have the Ramattra in their wheelhouse as something they want to play with, so it does kind of leave you open, and the response ban for West High School is a pretty easy cat ban. Fair enough. Yeah. If I was to be incredibly niche about it, I would say maybe ban the Bastion instead of the cat, because the Bastion can still be played on the flat ground, whereas the cat is going to be more playable on like a more angle-based map, like a Sura. But literally, who cares? No one's playing cat with a Bastion. I would not expect so.
I mean, I'm also kind of surprised. So retroactively, I kind of didn't pick this up, but I'm surprised Independence High School are playing the Kiriko, because I feel that Ana is one of the biggest kind of moving parts in this when you see Cat Bastion being played, is being able to swing aggressively with the Bastion with Nano Boost. So now I'm realizing I'm surprised that they didn't play the Ana. Maybe it's not in their wheelhouse.
I don't think Ana's not like crazy played. It's like both in Asia, for example, I believe Zeta Division will play Ana, but Crazy Raccoon will play Kiriko.
That's true.
It just depends on hero pool.
It does depend. If you have Shu, then obviously you're going to be playing Ana. You're going to be putting the man on Ana. He is. I mean, I don't think it's a hot take that Shu's the best Ana player in the world, right? That's not a hot take. Is that a hot take?
It's not. It's
okay,
just
I thought you were going to.
Who else is like? I Fielder's good at Ana.
Twilight, Fielder, maybe.
Twilight's not a team.
Oh yeah, Twilight's not on a team anymore.
So he's retired even. Not the point. Point is, Shu's very good at Ana. They're going to play Ana. Lots of teams will play Ana because Ana's good, mostly because you have got huge cooldowns and your ultimate ability is very, very powerful. But if you don't play Ana, you don't need to play Ana. And I would be a little bit surprised if we saw it manifest here in King's Row, because Baptiste, very powerful. We saw people want to play that. Kiriko has been played for absolute donkey's years, of course. And it's still very powerful with the recent buffs to her healing. And so we're still going to continue to see that as well. By the way, that's a crazy buff.
Why did we do that?
15, 16%?
I will say
nuts.
I think we could have just done with just the compensation nerf without the buff. Because TP, Kiri having a more limited TP range is a good thing, for sure. But yeah, especially I think for pubs and kind of for people playing in ranked, one of the biggest frustrations is that Kiri just absolutely stat farms and will just build Kitsune Rush just so quickly. Yeah, we're not going to get into the whole Kiriko debate today. I mean, it's definitely a later topic. Yeah.
You just tempo build Kitsu like people used to do on Moira. But heading in here, as you can see, West High School, of course, their composition is going to be locked in, no chances to change at this point. And the Ana that we spoke about is going to be materializing, Tranquility piloting that hero. Farah, Emre, And the Sigma playing for extended shooting here. Ghosty Boy can use that Lucio speed to taxi King Size around, because if King Size is going to be the target here for Independence High School, who are playing a pretty reasonable combo thing. Sim going to be in. Is Combat just going to be TPing them out, or are they sticky on this?
I think I would actually like to see Combat stick on the Sim, you know, set up Mars for success on that high ground. Yeah, looks like we're sticking with the Sim. Maybe looking for a TP onto that back high ground. Let Mars absolutely rain terror. Already so much damage. Oh, the accretion. Yeah, I mean, God, the Sigma and the Far Rockets into that Sim TP is going to be rough. And yeah, stagger kills coming out as Independence High. Yeah, they're not going to feel good about that one.
It's not the comp I would Sim TP into anyway, and I would especially not do it with a Winston comp. Long range nade from Evans' corner catches Mars, who will be sent crashing back down to Earth. And strongholds so far being found from West High. Stagger kills especially, making it so there's not a combined hit. Mr. Bogus, not long for this world. 45 seconds off the bank, and love a little piece of ult donate. I mean, look at the lead so far. West High School, 60% for 2U, 55 for King Size. And Independence making wholesale swaps to the Soldier, to the Soj. Nobody's above 30.
Yeah, I feel like I still would have liked to see the Symmetra. I feel like it was just a bit too obvious of a TP. Maybe set up on a little bit of an angle where they can't really just dump all their cooldowns into you. But, I mean, to be honest, 2 hit scans is fair enough. 2U is applying a lot of pressure here. Accretion out. I like that Hazard's going to be able to do a lot better in the neutral. But a big nade to open up things up onto the backline of Independence High, and Vintage is going to fall. Panic so low. Can't peek to heal up their team. We see a trade onto Tranquility, but it's definitely not going to be enough. As West High, they just hold in strong.
And they do. Just Mr. Bogus left, who has to try and extricate himself somehow. Mars on the respawn, gets a nice kill. Goes to spawns for the attackers here, so as long as Independence doesn't die, they can begin to press their advantage with a little bit of patience, and it's exactly what they'll do. On to the objective now, getting a tick basically guaranteed, but with your wall, Mr. Bogus, you can get more.
Yeah, but you've really got a lot of ults coming up here from West High that you have to worry about. Here comes the Flux. Trying to pressure out Mr. Bogus, but there goes the nano boost, and Mars can be taken out. Can King Size find any more value with this? Finds 2, Panic gone down, Bogus taking so much damage all alone on that front line, and Combat the only member of Independence High, going to be staggered out. 23 health.
Lives this, should do.
Yeah, I think,
nice.
So.
Yeah, chasing that deep would be a little bit too much. Yeah, ults there would be making that difference. Like I spoke about in that fight number 1, nothing Independence could do to respond, but Nano and Gravitic Flux is a large investment here. Still, you've got good ults, but Independence High School are going to have some of their own.
Yeah, King Size is such an issue. No wonder Bogus is really trying to hunt down for him. 2U does take out Mars as well. Mars all alone on that Soldier. No support to be had. Bogus too, all alone. There is no synergy in these engages right now from Independence High. They are flopping around like a fish out of water. And it's not pretty. It's not pretty, Spec.
Yeah, really struggling. Still, 2.5 ticks is good progress. Oh, that's a really weird ult timing. What does Evans' corner see? I guess
some sniper kills?
I mean, it's nice, but when you're looking at a minute, you're kind of one-fight territory anyway. Yes, Mars and Vintage are dead, but they kind of won anywhere to begin with. So I think maybe a mistake here. West High School now will have the Aggressive Flux once more. Ghosty Boy finally charging into that sound barrier. He's been nursing all round long. But Independence will have a sound barrier of their own. In fact, they'll have everything of their own. And so it might just be an economy differential here, unless someone on West High School can do something a little bit inspired.
They have the beat coming up. This is all on Ghosty Boy here. Eyes on the Lucio, and the later beat is the better beat. They're just being able to kite on high ground. They're going to be able to re-engage whenever they want. They use the Flux. Oh, but the beat does not catch King Size. Still a big nade. Could reopen this fight. Panic is so low. They're stalling out as best they can for Combat. And Mars, they both pop their ults to try wrap this one up. Barely scraping through first point. Independence managed to cap first. That was really tough for them.
Cap's a cap, though. It's a pretty weird fight there. Vintage beat engages super early. Ghosty Boy Hoils. We get the Hazel, the downpour, rooting Ghosty Boy and Tranquility actually, but because Mr. Bogus doesn't check the corridor, the beat again isn't forced. Ghosty Boy goes for it in the end, but I think it was a little bit of a strange timing, and so West High School didn't find the value that maybe they wanted, but Independence Still, also Sweat. Still, Kitsune Rush unmirrored against the Nano boost. You're still not in a bad position whatsoever. And so all they have to do is wait for West Side to line up. Hopefully they'll knock him down.
Yeah, big burst damage there from King Size, trying to hunt for that Kiriko. Already so many good nades found from Tranquility, which is going to lead to a kill on combat. 2 is down, but the Nano can find all the value that it can. If King Size can find those kills, Mars, another anti-nade onto Panic and Mars. Are you kidding me, Tranquility? Enough is enough. Stop carrying these fights. And bit by bit, it looks like Independents are split. Not enough healing to really sustain, and they're going to be forced to kite away.
Yeah, I mean, King Size in these fights is the closest thing we have in Overwatch. Well, Harrier jump jet, Vintage eliminated.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Tranquility, the late kill onto Vintage is going to delay the amount of time that Independent Size will have to complete this round in, right? And with just a minute left to go, it's only really one attempt. So they're the ones who should be stressed about the clock. They're the ones who should be stressed about this opportunity or lack thereof. Kitsune, again, nice. Downpour, lovely to have, but they've been really struggling to position these.
Yeah, all eyes are on Panic here right now. This Kitsune rush is going to be so important, but with Suzu already forced and a rush that really doesn't find a lot of value. I know it is going on to point there, but it was used in an awkward spot. A great sleep, Tranquility, hitting all their cooldowns in these fights. Ghosty Boy is down, so that Honor is the only saving grace here in terms of sustain for West High. And with King Size a little bit trapped and their Honor a little bit low, you have to be careful. Mars on that high ground, exuding a lot of pressure. But Bogus is taking a lot of it too, and it's a bit of a stalemate here as both teams are waiting for the rest of them to come back.
Oh, Evans Corner dies. Huge mistake, especially when he had that override protocol active pulse. Beautiful from 2, but more than that going to be needed as the time goes sub 10 seconds.
Yeah, B out for Vintage, and this really should be the nail on the coffin here as Ghosty Boy has not been able to charge up to their own in time. King Size did find a trade onto Mars here with the bomb, has a little bit of a second life. Oh boy, Ghosty Boy is really testing their patience. Bogus trying to kite back to the point, actually gets taken out by the Diva Bomb. And now here comes Ghosty with that beat. They have the override, they have the Nano they wanted, don't even need to use it. Independence held at the end of point 2. Pretty back and forth, a lot of a better showing here from Independence on map 2.
Yeah, able to just get a couple fights through makes it a lot more consistent for your defense, a lot easier to hold on. They've done admirably, but West Side scored as well. Remember how strong that first point defense was. If they're able to bring anything like that level of output to their own attack, then this King's Row could be over pretty quick, and we could be looking at a 2-0 scoreline here in our upper bracket game 1. Of course, first to 3 here, I do believe. So after that, Independence will still have some time to try and pivot on the spot. If not, well, we'll be catching them in the lower bracket and trying to see what they can manifest here in the rest of our playoffs.
Yeah, I absolutely have to point out Tranquility here on this Ana. So many fights landing 2-man nades, even a 1-man nade is very important. And especially being able to do it after Panic on the Kiriko. Is using these Suzus, noticing that, re-recognizing and tracking that cooldown, and using the biotic grenade for all of its use that it can be used for. And then we see the follow-up from King Size. And so far, the synergy between Tranquility and King Size has been really great. Maybe moving over to the Baptiste, which I would be sad to see. It's been really fun seeing Tranquility on the Ana. But either way, West High, they are looking confident coming into this attack.
I kind of think Anna's better on the attack almost, worse on the defense, because she's so squishy, but you have so much value with those cooldowns. But Bap here, by no means weak whatsoever. Deep jump from Mr. Bogus, but instantly loses the armor. The bubble breaks to boot, and we'll have to back out.
Yeah, we like this space being taken as well from West High. They're wrapping around top, and yeah, there's just nowhere Mr. Bogus can go. Mr. Bogus here on the Winston just isn't really playing for the space, more just kind of playing into the front line, and you're just going to blow up into the micro missiles, into those fusion cannons from the Diva. You just can't really match that burst damage.
Took the words right out of my mouth here, man. I mean, just absolutely exploded. We saw 2 ticks through in less than a minute. Recontest, maybe it can come through, but you just don't have the HP for it. They think they have to hold choke, and that's really not what you need when you're already kind of struggling for distance, struggling for time.
Yeah. Panic and Bogus forced to touch there. Combat does find a nice little pick onto the Sojin, but yeah, I mean, when you're Winston just playing out in the middle of point there, and you got the Pharah from above, you got the Soldier from the side, and the D.Va right in front of you. It's just not really much you can do. And yeah, we're seeing Mr. Bogus immediately move over to that Hazard.
Yeah, I think Haz here is strictly better than the Winston. Is it enough to survive into the D.Va? We'll have to wait and see, but 5 minutes now, a pretty gargantuan time for Independence High School to attempt to hold for, and they only really have 2 fights, so you're going to have to be borderline perfect now if they want to take their own map pick, else West High School will continue on their way here. Scaling up now is Mr. Bogus into the Pharah, and instantly, again, under pressure, but for now, still active.
Yeah, they need to be able to take this this little high ground portion here, really force away that the D.Va, the Pharah, but a lot of ults being built up here by West High. This barrage, you got to watch out for it. TU has been able to catch members of Independence out pretty well. That Tranquility barely misses the kill onto Mars there. Bogus just blows up Mars on the Soldier, able to find one single pick, one single glimmer of hope, one trade, but it looks like things are really tough here for Independence. Will they even be able to find a touch?
It's gonna be... I don't believe they can. No Lucio Vintage on the Moira of all things. They have no fast swap to try and reach. Hiding is combat. Overclock active, gets nobody, and unfortunately there's no second touch.
Yeah. Look, a lot better there from Independence High. I think we really are seeing a team punch above their weight here. This is the kind of the impression I'm getting. West High just overall have a lot more synergy, a lot more understanding of this team composition is what they want to do. Mr. Bogus, really struggling there. Just kind of like we were saying, blowing up. And D.Va, as much as these pub players, these gold TikTok creators maybe will tell you, Winston, D.Va is not a hard counter to Winston. If you just play for your space on Winston, you're playing for the squishies. And again, yeah, trying to play to take space, you can absolutely do really well into a D.Va. But we're just not seeing that from Mr. Bogus, kind of just diving into the front line and blowing up. So we need to see a little bit more cohesion, I think, as well from Independence. And West High, yeah, I think just a lot of standout players like King Size, mechanically on the Sigma, on the D.Va, just doing a fantastic job. And Tranquility again, obviously as a support player, I feel obliged to highlight these support players when they're doing super well. Tranquility, truly hero plays on this map, and I'm excited to maybe see a bit more Ana in the next one to close things out.
Yeah, have to wait and see what they pick towards, of course. Remember, this was the Jetpack Cat ban, so I think no matter what the veto is going to be up next, we will probably see Bastion get taken care of, right? I would be incredibly surprised if that doesn't happen.
Well, Independence could protect ban DPS, obviously, so they could...
that is true. That is true. That's the only way of keeping it in, though. And do you really want to ban DPS after you've just kind of had that happen? It did feel like... I mean, sure, the DPS of West High School were absolutely fine. I have no complaints about them, but the issue was the tech, right? The issue was the D.Va.
It was,
it's the Ana as well, to a lesser extent. Nano Turn's always incredibly powerful. So I would probably be leaving DPS alone for now if I am Independence High School, which has unfortunately invited, again, that Bastion ban into our backyard.
Yeah, I don't think you really need the Cat Bastion here. I think they played King's Row and they played it pretty well, all things considered. Like, we did see a lot better aggression, and I feel especially on their attack, Bogus actually finding that rhythm on the Hazard, especially on second point, a lot better. I just don't think the Winston is in the cards right now. I don't think it's going to be as good as the Hazard, especially if Mr. Bogus is struggling with positioning and getting blown up by the D.Va. You just want to be able to live a bit better. So, I think both of us are probably expecting the D.Va ban from Independence. And, West High, I don't think really bans concern them right now. They might actually even... If D.Va doesn't get banned and they try protect the Independents try to protect DPS for the Cat Bastion, would not be surprised to see West High just ban out the Hazard to force Mr. Bogus to suffer even more on the West.
It's honestly a pretty good strategy. It's something that teams like to do a lot. And that being said, right, Mr. Bogus has been playing the Winston a lot anyway. like, sure, he could play the Hazard. He might do, but he also might just play the Winston. So it might be that West High School just want to gamble, hope he continues making this mistake. As Sun Tzu once said, if your opponent's in the business of making a mistake, you let him.
Yeah.
And West High School, I would hope, are well read enough to have heard that particular tidbit. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what the visas are. But I think if you're West High School, you can kind of take it any which way and feel very happy with what you can do. Mentioned Bastion ban, Winston ban. Could even go for a backline hit if you wanted. Try and play one of your more interesting backlines. The opponents seem pretty stuck on their Kiri Lucio. You've got a lot of ideas here.
Yeah, moving on to New Queen Street. Personally, I don't think this is a very good Bastion. A very good Bastion map. I mean, obviously Bastion has fall off. I think you kind of want Bastion in those mid sightlines, and I think New Queen Street just has a little bit too many drawn out sightlines. It can be really, really scary to play into. We saw Evans Corner play the Emre, and I think the Emre into the Cat Bastion would be really, really scary on New Queen Street. Maybe we see a bit of ball. This is like kind of the ball map, at least in my eyes. So maybe we see a little bit of that going on with the Cat Bastion. It's a very, very good combo. I'm expecting Hazard from Independence, unless they want to shake things up.
Everyone see specifically what those vetoes are, as you mentioned, but Hazard, I think, no huge surprise here. He works everywhere. He's strong right now.
Yeah,
I feel like there's not a lot of reason to not play Hazard. Are there stronger picks? Yeah. Diva, I think Arisa, arguably.
There are more min-max stronger picks, right? But I think
if you're a Hazard one trick, you're not crying.
Yeah, exactly. You can live consistently. You can output good burst damage. Again, it's not as explosive. The peaks aren't as high as you can probably get, as you can even get with a Winston sometimes, or a Diva, or a Bull. Or Zarya, but I think Hazard is very, very consistent, can really live. And we saw that with Mr. Bogus when they were playing the Hazard. So again, I think West High, a Hazard ban is going to be really, really attractive for them, and could pretty much tie things up. If Mr. Bogus can't find a different tank to answer that with, or can't figure out a little bit better how to live for longer in the mid fight on the Winston, then I think it's kind of all she wrote, because this frontline duel, unfortunately, is quite one-sided at the moment. King size is really coming up big for West High. So
yeah, King size has just been doing pretty crazy. To be honest.
God's work.
Yeah, might as well consecrate him at this point.
Swear him in. I am going to be interested to see. The bans coming in. I actually wouldn't even be surprised to see the Ana ban as well from Independence, because this also could be quite a strong Ana map if Tranquility is left unchecked. Long sight lines, Ana obviously has no fall off, so Tranquility did pick up a lot of kills and a lot of good nades. So scary guy to have existing somewhere far away on the very other side of New Queen Street, ready to pop 3 shots into you and get the elimination. But it looks like we're still waiting for the bans here. These teams like time. Yeah.
New Queen Street, probably the most annoying map for snipers for a while. We have heard one ban, so we'll leak it now. Hazard has been banned out. It's exactly like you said, Nat. They want to put the pressure onto the tank. They want to make it stay as poor as possible, with the secondary ban being a Tracer. They seem like they want to shut down the DPS where possible. Good foresight to think not just what your opponents are playing on the last map, but what would they realistically play on a map like this? Is it the most impactful ban you could bring, though? Arguably not. And so I do think in this veto, it is West High School who've kind of done better, and considering they've been in the driving seat for the previous 2 maps as well, I think it might well be them getting a win here.
Yeah, I do like the Tracer ban. I think this, 2U probably was going to play the Tracer on this map with the Diva. But, I mean, we saw 2U do really good on the Pharah too. So, could well and happily, even though it is longer sightlines, we haven't really seen any, consistent hit scan pressure, if I'm being completely honest, from Independence. So, So yeah, I wouldn't honestly be surprised if TU just says, screw it, I'm just going to play the Pharah anyway, even though there is a threat of maybe a Bastion mowing me down. And the hazard ban that's going to be pretty devastating. Mr. Bogus really eyes on this player here to find a solution on this front line, to really kind of get to that next level, step up, and find that fire inside. You know, maybe it's on the Winston, maybe it's on the Diva, on the Bull, whatever it might be. You got to find it. You got to find that spark.
Let's hope it lies quickly, because the reverse sweep going to be needed. Something we've absolutely seen before in Overwatch, right? But I feel like we need some evidence to really start believing. And New Queen Street, a perfectly reasonable place for that to start. These vetoes, as we mentioned, not ideal, but not the end of the world either. But I think I'll be very surprised if Independence High School are able to run it back all the way. But what cinema it would be. Of course, if they don't, then this is the upper bracket, so the lower bracket awaits them. They'll be able to play again in against elimination, and maybe make it back to the grand finals if so chooses. That's grand finals tomorrow, by the way, Sunday, I believe about 5 p.m. in San Antonio, Texas, here, the national championships of the EGF High School tournament. It's West High School and Independence in the lobby for what could be the final time today.
Yeah, and things have looked strong here for the Vikings. And King Size free to run around on the Diva on this map. Strong pick pretty much anywhere you want to, but looks already like teasing a bit of the Queen, which we do not see very frequently at the moment. Queen is not really a very strong pick, you know, when we're playing into, you know, when we're in a meta where maybe, you know, when we were in the Malga meta, Queen had a bit of relevance because of how valuable it was to have the anti-nade effect from Rampage. But yeah, Independence going back to their map 1 specialty with that Cat Bastion combat honestly has had some moments of glory here on the Sojourn, and a good opening bit of damage there from Mars.
Tracking's not that bad, but unfortunately it's being a little bit far out, and mostly Kaisen means that it doesn't quite as much value. Maybe you'd want Mars still in there, Mars still dealing damage, but without the benefit of that bomb, it's just not the same. And Mr. Bogus in the entire time, a 1v1, not what Winston excels at, and so eliminates it, but he just finds that elimination. Mars tries what he can, but it's forced to back out.
Yeah, bit more than a 1v1 there for the Winston, deciding to, instead of diving out, we're diving back into the front line. When we're on half health, we need to be playing for our life here more. We have a cat, we have the cat that is, you know, putting most of their resources into this Bastion. The Winston is a good pick here, you know, for the Genji, for the Kiriko, forcing out their movement. We cannot be playing into the front line right now. And again, Mr. Bogus plays into the Queen and loses almost all of their health. Yeah,
gets basically evaporated. Will be stable though. Mr. Bogus closest by far to an ultimate, but it is just that mortal form. Mr. Bogus taken care of. Mars needs to find a trade, but can't manage it with no form. And this is a bit of a speed run here, unfortunately. Forward spawns in under 2 minutes. Independence High School scattered west, punching the hole through their defenses, and almost a late kill on Panic, which would be absolutely brutal to stand. They're off the Bastion. Mars is on Cassidy now.
Yeah, Vintage, I don't know why I was sticking on this cat, but hey, I'll trust the process. Lifting Mars up into the eye. Hey, cat Deadeye, not too bad. But Bogus on a tank that can actually live on the front line a little bit better, and that can really contest King Size here. Such a big health pool Malga has. But King Size is looking for that in on the back, has all their cooldowns available. Here comes the swing, and TU does find a nice opening pick onto Mars, but has to kite back King Size, but now gets to go back in with the rush. There goes in the headlong rush from Bogus, but no one to follow up while the DPS on the side of West High just tear down Squishies.
Yeah, the final stretch now, and maybe you have a proper fight at the very least. Mr. Bogus off the Malga, back on the Winston. Combat will have a clock. Vintage and Panic both come up to their check marks as well, but West High School, everything bar the Kitsu they just used, and they are not afraid to use them.
Yeah, only really support ults here for Independence High. Beat one of the strongest ults in the game and comes out to sustain them through. Mars, however, finds an opening pick. Chuyu's been taken out. Can this momentum swing back in the way of Independence High? West High, they're kind of back. They are happy to let Independence take this fight when they are not going to lose anything. They want to be able to play on this corner and let their Sojourn come back. All we have to do is make sure that we live. Buddy is low, and that's a lovely headshot from Mars to finish them off. Now we have no Blade in this fight, but 2U still has this OC. Now back, combat with the OC of their own. Can they find any value? Mars not able to find anything with their High Noon. Now 2U on the latter half of this fight is going to use this overclock to clean things up. A great few opening picks there by Mars, but the follow-up was just not found from Independent's side. What a waste.
There's not enough people on the objective here, unfortunately. Buddyless Blade on combat. Sure, it's nice. Mr. Bogus losing armor. Vintage 1 HP. Tranquility a headshot. Respawn still not working out, unfortunately.
Combat?
And yeah, I guess this one, as he has more than a couple times before, but that's going to be all she wrote. One would imagine. West High School able to complete the 3-0. Independence dispatched, and that's kind of what we expected, unfortunately.
Yeah, Primal comes out. We still got Respawn. The map isn't over yet. Don't put your headset down, son. We've got a game to play. The beat comes out there from Ghosty Boy, and this truly is the nail in the coffin here. 2 support ults down on point. Tranquility, my pride and joy on the flex support, cleaning things up nicely with a headshot kunai. Almost a full cap. We are getting our sentences interrupted, finishing off over and over again with these respawns, but finally the full cap comes through, and West High Vikings a 3-0 victory over Independence High School Falcons. Hard fought from Independence High. They lost. They went down kicking and screaming, but these Vikings, man, they're scary. They're coming in. They're coming in scary hard with their axes and their boats, and they're gonna colonize your Overwatch game. I really had to search for that one, didn't I?
It was a bit late, but it happens. We've all been there before.
Yeah.
3-0, as we mentioned, when all said and done. West High going to be very happy with that result, of course. Didn't have to show too much. Never really looked... I don't want to say that they weren't tested, because they were, but they never looked like they were on the back foot, right? Anytime their opponents were in control, they had superior ults, they hit a crazy shot, but they would walk in, they'd be able to right the ship relatively quickly. So I think they can be quite happy with how they played today. And as I mentioned, Independence, a lower bracket run now available for them, so they shouldn't be too stressed either. There's still plenty of Overwatch left to play. Of course, after this we will be covering lower bracket round 1. That should be between Independence Falcons and the loser of Hebron Varsity and the DaVinci Alpha Wolves, and after that we'll see what happens on the Sunday. But for this game, I think we are pretty much done, of course. Just waiting to see if we have an interview or not, but I don't believe so.
Yeah, I feel like, I think you hit the nail on the head. Never really saw Vikings on the back foot. I think that fight, there was a specific fight on New Queen Street which really showed that, where Mars on the Cassidy actually opened up the fight with 2 picks. But Vikings, they just back up, they live, and they come back in, and we just didn't see a macro understanding really from the Falcons, especially I really don't want to be calling out players because I know everyone is playing at their best. But a lot of that team leadership comes from the tank of knowing when to kite back, and King Size showed that perfectly there on the Queen. And that was truly lacking from the front line with Bogus on the side of Falcons, not knowing when to kite back, and because we were out of cooldowns, and then re-enter, only really pressing W when that's not how you win games. So yeah, I really do expect Vikings to do extremely well, and probably maintain a very strong footing in the upper bracket.
Well, we're going to go to the lower bracket next. Short break before we do, so we're gonna vanish for a bit, and then when we're back, we should be all ready. Unless someone...
If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. You were calling me a liar, 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 liar. I've been putting in the hours, 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 hours. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the putting in.
Dreams collide in sleepless nights. Stars explode through blinding lights. Victories found in the fight. I'm on top, my soul ignites. Life's a game, we learn the rules. Twist and turn like misfit fools. Through the pain we break the chains. Find the win through loss and gains. I've got a heart that's never quitting. In this race I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings. Castles built on hope's foundation. Rivers run with pure elation. Through the storm I'll find my way. Triumph shines like break of day. Tides may turn but I remain. Steady, strong, won't yield to pain. In the end the truth will show. Strength and heart, the seeds we sow. I've got a heart that's never quitting. In this race I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings. Tides may turn, but I remain. Steady, strong, won't yield to pain. In the end, the truth will show. Strength and heart, the seeds we sow. I've got a heart that's never quitting. In this race, I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings.
We are back here with a bit of a change in schedule. Rather than going straight to the lower bracket, we're going to see the other upper bracket match as well. This time between the Hebron High School and the DaVinci School group. This one we're going to take pretty quick because we already have our veto ready. And of course, that was on an extended pause where we've got everything sorted out. Map Nepal, as per usual. The bans, as far as I'm aware, Lucio and Trace are both teams attacking the standard Overwatch 2 comp we've seen, you know, with Tracer, with Soj, with Kiri, with Lucio. And so all we know for sure is that we'll see something pretty eclectic here, map number 1.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we see the Lucio ban come out, I feel like most teams go down 2 distinct routes. You normally either see people wanting to still play into the speed and they run the Juno, maybe with the Brig, maybe with the Kiri, or they'll opt for something a bit slower, a bit more pokier. Often we'll see the Kiri normally stays about, as we expect, and normally it's either the Juno Kiri or the Wu Yang Kiri is what we tend to see quite a lot. And it kind of just depends, I would say, more so on your DPS. What do they want to play into? If you have some hit scans that want to play longer ranges, you'll often see the Wu Yang come out. But time will tell as we open up here on Shrine on the pool.
That it will. Brigitte, an option here. So is Cat, if you so wish. Hebron playing a comp specialized for shooting. Everybody online has a long range ability to keep your opponents at a distance. DaVinci will want to close down the distance using the Zarya bubbles. Dino going to be the recipient of those and hopefully be able to cause some chaos with his Hellfire shotguns. Mini Carter, 5 seconds. You're gonna have to pick sooner rather than later. Juno, more than an option. Ilyari,
okay.
all said and done. 100 stock points invested into the shooting. No mobility whatsoever. And so if DaVinci can close the distance, they will just win straight up.
Yeah, Beast on the far is a little interesting. Neither of your supports really have an easy time landing shots on you, so you kind of have to play around more than anything the Ilari pylon here. But honestly, already quite aggressive angles taken by Hebron. That's what you want to see on the Sigma comps, as many angles as possible. And Impure, forced to use so many bubbles, very, very, very low there. And yeah, Emong, the one and only. 1G only.
1G.
There was a capitalize on those bubbles being used early and take the Reaper out, and everyone else kind of has to kite away after that. But Hebron have to be careful. They could get run over here.
Emong 1G, not burning a molly so far. Actually leading on Flux Charge, 70%. And more to be accrued. A Tempo Flux will tear DaVinci to shreds. They have no beat for it. A cleanse, their only mitigating factor. Dino makes a swap off the Reaper over to the M-Ray. Shooting better, yes, but now that Zarya has precious little bubble.
Yeah, we are just not even caring about the bubbles on Impure. We're just shooting through them and trying to do as much damage as possible. And honestly, Emong, I'm loving this aggression from them, forcing the Kiri to TP. We are basically kissing the spawn doors goodnight here, Spec.
Yeah, really dominant so far from Hebron. Ults, they're in the lead of. Playing the choke because, again, the Rangers simply suit their distance. Impure, another swap off the Zarya now, but that's grab charge you're giving up. Has it bettered? Sure, but will you be able to use it considering you're walking into the Flux, into the clock, into the window? There's so much damage you to be scared about.
Oh yeah, that's a really good tide though, keeping your hazard up and able to walk through that choke confidently now, picking up 2 kills. But the director DaVinci, they are really, really struggling with this, with Emong on the Sigma, just walking into them. Point control still in the favor here of Hebron. And yeah, 70, 80%, nothing to really laugh at here. They're able to kite off, regroup, and come in strong.
Yeah, easy recontest having to from Impure. Who just needs to survive though. 100 HP, a clock and the window both, but will be able to escape. All the same. Hazuki, the same could not be said as Raidriar walks back in and decapitates his opposite number. Still, control, not yet gone. Let's tell Elias, Hebron find that reflip. Pre-fighted by Sam, but I'm not sure he was taking a fight at the moment, says DaVinci still setting up for a hit. I think that hasn't yet been forthcoming.
Yeah, Impure completely split from their team. Finally getting a little bit of support from their wings, but it's a little bit too late for them now. OC comes out from Hakazi. No touch. Impure out of the fight. Oh, DaVinci, you hate to see that. Hebron, really, really good start for this. Emon on the Sigma already flexing their mechanical skill and picking up so many kills, so much aggression, which you don't really see on the Sigma, especially without speed boost.
Yeah, working out very well for Hebron so far. I think the lack of a Lucio really hurts their opponent's options as well, because my first thought seeing a comp like this, go like Ryan, go Ram, go Amalga, just W key in. Don't give them time to find value with their shooting. You don't have the option. You're kind of forced to play your opponent's tempo without that speed boost. And therefore, Hebron find any value that they wish. Raid Real, by the way, leading the server in damage, about 3k. Lovely to see. Sim TP out. Impure on the hog of all things. This is unethical.
It is a little bit. Maybe we're gonna see some nasty things coming through. Hooks onto the fire, maybe. I'll be kind of saucy. Already good point control here from Hebron. This is what their comp is good at: taking early space, having these long sight lines. Mini Carter having an absolute field day on the Alari, hitting shots all over the place. And DaVinci just have to really kite. The Hawk is the only one who can really walk up. And Impure does manage to get a little bit of hook, but their target escapes them. Great accretion. Can the follow-up be found? Impure taking so much damage. And Emon on such an aggressive angle, not allowing DaVinci to even walk forward a little bit. Raidria is absolutely popping off on this Sojourn. The carry of this lobby admin over here on the Sojourn.
More than a couple good rails. The S&D here leaving something to be desired, but can't argue with the output. I feel like Impure just takes a million damage trying to walk anywhere. Back to the hands, probably for the best. But DaVinci battle back so far. Hebron's so in control, right? I mean, it feels like any attempt at a recontest here, you have to walk through so much damage. The Rock as well has been brutal more than a couple times. Emon strong for it. Holding so aggressively as well. No respect for opposition.
No respect at all. These aggressive angles, zoning Impure off with that shield, not allowing any heals to come through. Has to kite back, and Impure is just blowing up. Raidria, Emon, Beast, so much damage just being rained down upon this Hazard. And Emon, did you really have to do that to him?
It helps. 50% now plus accrued. Obviously, more than halfway towards victory because Impure has been swapping tanks. And again, it's Emon, a significant lead on ultimate, as the rest of Hebron have as well. We're taking a while for these fights, so that point again, picking up farther than otherwise you maybe like. DaVinci begin the walk, but rocks back as Impure, lost half his HP as Impure, and Impure who has to cancel their attempted aggression.
We have to see a big infight here from DaVinci, otherwise this map is all but over. Here comes the tidal wave. Yeah, Emon does get knocked down, but the support is great from Hebron and their support. Two caught in the flux, and Johnny G through the window, able to find Dinoli. And yeah, picks come through. Incredibly dominant first map here from Hebron. Yeah, nothing else to say.
Most definitely in the driver's seat, more like Fernando Alonso. Blitzed through that map number one. Only giving over a couple points of percentage. Hebron feeling very confident in their first game of the national championships here. And if you're DaVinci, you've just been knocked for 6, unfortunately. The silver lining here for DaVinci, Lucio now going to be back on the table to give you some more opportunity to take away your opponent's choice of tempo.
Yeah.
But that is really it, right? And I guess Impure as well on the Haz was able to find some success, but rarely starts on it. We're not really charging downpours at the same pace.
Yeah.
So if I am the Alpha Wolves, I'm feeling rather further on the back foot than we expected to be, but there's still some hope heading to that number 2.
Oh, I'll let you.
It was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, against this Sigma comp, so much spam damage initially. It's hard to get in, right? And without the Lucio, like you say, I think that maybe DaVinci, they looked comfortable on the Hazard. Impure, good mechanics, obviously picking up the play of the game there. Good mechanics. The Lucio really, I think, will unlock the next step for them in being able to close that distance. But yeah, Hebron mechanically, I mean, Emon and Radria just not letting anything really slide. No one in any positions really able to everyone has to play the cover, everyone has to kite. It's too much, and we don't really see Sigmas play this aggressively very often, and it's great to see.
I mean, when you realize your opposing team isn't on a comp that can punish you for aggression, you have no Lucio, you're on a hit scan with no burst damage at Soldier 76. As long as your tank is afraid of rock, you can basically do whatever the hell you want. So, super aggressive angles being taken, but there's nothing you can do about it. So, it's working out very well so far, obviously, for Hebron. DaVinci, I think Soldier 76 is not a great hero in general, right? It's been in the game since launch, 10 years of Soldier 76, and how many Soldier 76 metas have we had?
Maybe one. Maybe one. I think the only time you ever see Soldier is when you let Lip on the hero. I think that's my memory is the only time we've ever seen
Lip
Soldier.
did it and then he lost to an NA team. So, like, if
That's
Lip
true.
loses on it, like, how are you going to work out?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think we just have to find answers here, really, to get in to close that distance. Lucio is going to be able to unlock that a lot. I'm surprised with how much the speed would have benefited them that they didn't just run the Juno. Yeah.
I don't know. Juno is very good in certain use cases, especially if your opposing team is not playing anything greedy. Juno dies very easily to like Tracer, Genji, etc. But if they're on like double hit scan, like who's gonna shoot you? Kind of nobody. So you find a lot of value just like healing frontline, speed boosting frontline, and your Ray is still one of the best ults in the game after it's had every single factor in it nerfed. Oh, we lost Nat for a second, but I'll keep on chatting still. So Juno, I think a valid pick. Double speed, not that strong, and so you normally do see her when she's straight up better than the counterpart, or when Lucio's banned. Lucio's banned, we don't see her, so I think the Juno chance is very low.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we'll see the Juno Brig maybe alongside a Mauga, sometimes Zarya, something a bit brawlier, maybe even a Ramatra, but yeah, I mean, when we have Lucio Kiriko in the game, I mean, we just play Lucio Kiriko, right? Yeah, so I'm interested to see bringing the Lucio back into the equation. Does that really change things for DaVinci? To be honest, I didn't see any really redeeming mechanical stuff there from DaVinci as well. So because Hebron, they just look dominant right out the gate. Again, Emon, Radria. Excited to see a bit more from Beast though, because Pharah was a little bit of an unconventional pick there. So maybe flexing a bit more onto some not so common flex DPS heroes would really spice things up, I think. And honestly, very brave to go for the Pharah there. Like I said, opening up, you know, playing with an Alarian or Baptiste, you just don't really have, at least with a Wu Yang or something, you can put the healing orb onto them, right? So, very, very brave decision there. But I mean, I don't think it really mattered at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think we did see the nice mechanics from the Has mostly, where I was most happy from DaVinci High School. But it wasn't the same as your opposing team having a Soju who's just going to hit like rail headshots. Because at the end of the day, if somebody's taking 200 bursts, they just get one shot essentially. That's consistent, that's repeatable, and it's a much lower level of risk than it has looking for an engage. Again, still waiting on Veto's and map pick. DaVinci the ones who can go first if they want to ban anything. Sig, I think, would be valid.
Yeah,
and probably what I would go towards. But then again, if you also just go towards a map like King's Row and force the frontline trade, then like a Pharah ban as well would work quite effectively if you wanted to play like a Rhine, a Ram, a look like that.
Yeah. Yeah, if it were me, I'd probably look to ban the Soj, because I think the frontline duel you want to play for Beast maybe isn't going to be playing Pharah with compositions where their supports can really lend them any help. So I think a situation here for DaVinci is ignoring the Pharah, you ban the Soju, try play for the front line. And again, like I said, Impure had seemingly quite good mechanics on the Hazard, so let's play for our Hazard, let's just bring the Lucio back in now that it's not banned. Let's go fast. I think that's really your win con here, is support your Hazard, let them try run the show.
Indeed, I wouldn't mind that at all. Map through Hollywood is an interesting one, actually. I would imagine this is what Hebron would pick, to be honest.
Yeah.
Tight lines, yeah, sure, no verticality for the SIG, but you can just, to be honest, you can just not lose fights, high key, and still find value. So I do think this is an interesting one, but it does depend heavily on what DaVinci plan on banning and what they have in mind for their own style of gameplay.
Yeah, even though this, Hollywood typically will see a lot of longer range hit scans really thrive on this map, Ash, Sojourn, and yeah, as we said, Railway are just doing so well on the Sojourn. It's a bit of an odd map pick, but at the same time, this is actually quite a good map for Hazard as well. So again, we're looking to enable Impure. This is honestly an understandable map pick from where I'm sitting. But yeah, we'll have to see the bans, because if we're playing for Impure's Hazard here on Hollywood and we're not banning the Sojourn, I feel like that's what's really going to throw, that is what really will throw DaVinci for a loop here, is just letting Railrio just sit on these high grounds and just farm rail shots. That's what you're going to be worried for.
Yeah, because the rail shots were incredibly impactful, as we mentioned before. I think a Soj ban, sure, would be valid, but the problem at all with banning hit scan is there are very few players out there who are high impact on Soj who won't also be high impact on Emre or Ash or Freya, as the case may be. So it always feels a bit bad banning hit scan, in my opinion. Whereas with every other role, the bans are a bit more pivotal, right? Like if you ban Kiriko, you genuinely have to think about what kind of flat ground hero you're going to play. You ban Tracer, who can force cart in the same kind of manner. Bans, I believe, are through Emre and Pharah bans. Both of these are pretty valid. They both do 1 million damage from long range, and you don't want to take 1 million damage from long range, so instead, seems like they're going to just be taken off the board. Out of the two, I do think these are slightly better bans for DaVinci, but I still think having that Soj going to be absolutely free is an issue.
Yeah, I feel like after hearing you kind of say that about hit scan bans, I see where you're coming from. I feel like a Sigma ban would have been good. Obviously, Sigma, with these tall high ground, Sigma does struggle a little bit more to use them as much if the Sigma is forced to drop to car or is booped off by Lucio or Far or whatever it might be. But still, I'm surprised we're not seeing a Sigma ban. So yeah, I think we're going to see more Emong Sigma. We just might. I honestly, this kind of just frees up Hebron. They can just keep running it down on what they were playing. It seems like that. Honestly, from where I'm standing, it feels like the Lucio ban. I don't know if it was their ban or not. I'm thinking it might have been Hebron's ban, because they looked completely unfazed by it, whereas DaVinci really struggled clearly to get in. So I would expect that's kind of what they're used to playing, these pokier compositions with the Baptiste, the Alari, the Sigma. But I'm actually eating my words right now. We're opening up possibly on Cat Bastion.
We are on some comps here. Malga, Emre, Ash, Juno, Bap. Plays quite strange. Some people have had this idea that you can, because they all have like fire effects, they will like combine well. I'm skeptical, to be entirely honest. I feel only the on-run, actually gets value from them being on fire, and it's very hard to sync up your engage cycles. Ash wants to play slow, Malga wants to play fast, it feels weird. But we'll see how things work out. And Hebron are, as you mentioned, running out on the Cat Bastion with the Ana style you were so desperate to see. See if it works any better for them than it did in our previous match.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, these, like the nano boost for this engage cycle for the Bastion is just so valuable. Already Radiator putting some pressure onto that Baptiste. Getting rid of that turret form, and the lamp is out almost immediately. Pressured off, though, by the Malga. That is nice, though, to have the hit scan pressure from your tank to be able to look at that Bastion, set them on fire. So, honestly, I like the Malga into the Bastion. It seems like it'll be a good way to answer for it.
It's been a consistent ban that's come through, or a pick rather, against the Cat Bastion. We're waiting for a pause at the moment, but
so
see how long it comes through. There we go. And yeah, I don't know, Cat Bastion, Malga, pretty standard counterpoint at this point, because you get so much damage resistance as well from your shout. You live for a while for it. But apparently a mic issue, which we're waiting to solve on site. A little bit annoying.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the issues, obviously, of LAN events, is that players are switching over, they're switching equipment. Sometimes there can just be, you know, random computer issues with certain headsets and whatever it might be, as well as players switching over. Seems like our issue has been very promptly fixed. Emong looking for the engage on the hazard straight onto Hakazi, who's forced away. Trying to find that follow-up damage, but Raidra is actually taken out pretty early, so a lot of your pressure alongside those engages for Emong is gone. Does still pick up a pick onto Sotrant on the Juno, but is really struggling to find anything more. Good kite though, DaVinci. They're holding strong. They've got to keep holding strong if they don't want this Bastion to overwhelm them.
Of course they will. Hazuki, good value found. Has scales once more, as Emong in position now. Will be stabled, and with the cat beginning to taxi across their charge. Then setting up for the hit is Hebron. Nano boost online. Dino already cut. Nano Bastion.
Here we go.
I mean, it's a little damage. Can we convert it as we multi-block the car? Baptiste taken care of by Emong. Not that much damage found from Raidria, but the zoning isolated Impure. And Hebron should be able to find this cap.
Yeah, Impure, the lone soldier left here for DaVinci. Looks like it. Beast is going super aggressive, making sure that no one on the side of DaVinci is going to be able to retouch here. 2-minute cap for Hebron. Gotta like it. And I think so far, Emong, again, just flexing these mechanics, looking great. You know, maybe even better than we saw Impure on this hazard.
Indeed, working out pretty well so far for Emong. 4 minutes, healthy enough on the time bank. Ults, nice and easy for him. Downport, of course, available, the biggest one. And the Malga on these high grounds feels so strange.
Yeah, Orbital Ray comes out to try ward away Hebron from taking any space onto this high ground. Impure on the low ground as well. Trying to stop any cart progress from happening. No really effect there from Emong's ultimate. And that's a big window, but only find Emong, Johnny G, Emong. They're all finding up picks. Impure through the window is able to find Raidria. And this tank needs to stay alive. Impure, only the Juno there to help them. And a great nade onto the Juno. Johnny G is finding so many of these.
Yeah, no nade onto the Amalga though means that Impure can continue to be healed up. Has been half HP for basically the entire fight. But still kicking support. Cage catches multiple. Beast taken care of. Jagger Wall was not going to last long. And neither is Emong. There's nothing he can really do.
Emong just got back to the fight only to get caged immediately. Yeah, Hebron just kind of more staggered fights after that Orbital Ray got put down. We saw a pick come in for DaVinci. They just weren't able to fully regroup. Now with ults online, the nano boost onto this Bastion is what we're going to be looking at. No support ults online for DaVinci, which is really the bread and butter of this composition. We'll see if Bob is able to pick up any free kills were here, and Anran having the ultimate as well. Good for the sustain. But Hebron have the driver's seat in this fight in terms of ultimates.
Big Sam's already dead. Nano booster through onto the Bastion, who drops down onto the Ash, who has nothing to do, who just kind of stand there. Raidria kind of expects additional taxi, but doesn't get it. But the damage is done at this point in the fight, right? You use 2 ults, you get 1 out, you get your fight win, and Beast gets some exit. If the on-run lives longer, Dino Bob lucky for it, but still it happens.
Yeah, the Beast Tracer looking pretty good mechanically. DaVinci, we'll see. Emong is, again, really already we're getting known for this man, taking really aggressive angles, not allowing DaVinci really to get in for free. Anran on the side of DaVinci does have this ultimate online. Going to be able to use that if they want to use it aggressively or use that for an extra life. Here comes the catnap. That's going to be taking Big Sam, I think. And yeah, Raider is going to take advantage of that stun. Emong is getting a lot of value, a lot of damage, but the front line has been left completely unchecked. Can Hebron continue to trade this out? Beast has been doing phenomenally on this Tracer with the mechanics. Takes out Din only.
Oh, come on.
Emong with the ult too. Just Impure left. Immortality build. Not going to be able to help them really recontest in any major way. And now it looks like it's just going to be stagger kills possibly.
Emong, gotta live, my boy. Low HP, but will be stable. Big Sam in the end eliminated. Yeah, the downpour not rooting the Malga when he's in run, I feel like is marginally goofy, but that's how the interaction works. Still won't matter too much. Good ults for DaVinci. Ray, window, cage should win you one fight, essentially guaranteed. Two, if you use your ults effectively. Hebron, not too much. They're gonna have to bank up for a couple, but support ults are getting closer.
Oh no,
the
Sam!
gift given.
Oh, that is so unlucky, Sam. Goes to jump up, set on the higher ground, and does not expect half of the side of Hebron to be there. Beast, 1-2 kills for the Tracer. Hunting for the Juno now, not able to find them in the midst of the Orbital 3. Postbomb goes wide. Emong does actually fall. Good anti-nade though onto Impure. They're going to use the cage just to stay up. Radria on this Bastion, able to find some trades, but I think the window will be the last nail on the coffin here. DaVinci not wanting to let this fight go hayward. They want to be able to get some amount of footing on this third point.
A little bit sloppy there to keep your Bastion and Cat alive for so long. If you find a trade, then you're a little bit happier, but unfortunately nothing manifests. Minute and a half now. DaVinci goes to finding a hold here on the last point of the game. Deadeye available, as well as that Vermilion Ascent or Vermilion Revival, depending on how Dino wants to utilize that tool. Hebron, they're going to nano Bastion. Just have to wait and see when exactly they decide to do it and how much value it finds.
Yeah, so far not really a ton of picks found from the Nano Bastion. It does create a lot of space, forcing DaVinci to kite it back, but they're not going to have to kite back for long. Hakazi finds an opening pick. A good sleep though onto Impure is going to stop this engage in its tracks. Can the backline live? Nano Boost goes onto Emong rather than Radria. Still has the downpour if they want to use it. Johnny G falls. Only the Cat alive available to support Hebron. Radria falling low. Use the ultimate there in order to get a little bit of extra overhead. That does fall too. There goes the Vermilion Descent. Emong barely managed to trade out. So low, 50 HP and a dream. Only the Cat to keep you up. Downpour still available. Now your Kiri's back. Downpour comes and the Catnap. Impure is getting tossed and turned all over the place, but still with plenty of health.
Yeah, it feels like the abilities overlap there. Beast tries a pulse, but it doesn't work out. 14 seconds left to go, and even though Raid Row gets one, still the momentum that you'd maybe like if you are Hebron. Trying to get the on-run, right clicks going, and the damage onto the as it is going to be permanent. Like 3 seconds now. Needs to be a change, needs to be one now. Will manifest. DaVinci have the ults, they have the numbers, they have control of the objective, and they have this round at a standstill.
Yep, they had all the ults coming into the latter half of that fight there, and that's really what ties things up for them. Not a bad attack at all there for Hebron, but really stumbled at that last hurdle. The Mauga is really hard to break on that final point. So conducive for these bull tanks. And Emong just kind of struggled to get in. Kind of a flip of what we saw on the previous map on Nepal. Impure really coming up big there on the Mauga. Very impressive stuff. And we'll see if they can carry that into their defense. Oh, into their attack, sorry.
Yeah, Malga going to be a little bit harder to play on the attack. You have no way of accessing the high grounds. Defensively, you're given some for free. Offensively, you need to get there, and so Malga not going to be as commonly played at the very least. See what they wish to pilot. But instead, it's going to be Emong who's going to be starting on this, and a very different look for Hebron. Mini cast this time, the one on the Ana. No more Johnny G. And obviously got the stats coming through. How's Emong at 14k damage almost? That seems high. That feels high.
Okay, yeah, that is a lot. That's a lot of damage. I mean, I think players are flipped on that display there, so not exact. I think that was actually would have been Impure maybe on the Mauga.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, on Mauga, I was gonna say on the Hazard, I would have been very surprised to see that much.
But he's actually on Doomfist. That's something you see every day.
We're truly playing Doomfist here, which yeah, you don't get to see every day, folks. Every day. Already taking that high ground, nice and aggressive. Have to be careful about that Ana poke. Doom is pretty squishy. Oh, when you screw up that could have been devastating there. And yeah, Impure is just not finding anything, and Hebron are really taking advantage of that, running over the rest of DaVinci. stamping on that Doom's head.
Yeah, if you're not like 100% zeroing squishies on Doom into Malga, you'll find it very, very tricky. You can't really bully him too much. Like, you can punch him occasionally, I guess. But yeah, especially when the ults come online, it's simply no contest. Impio's over to D.Va. So Tyrant on the Ana. These are definitely better stops for DaVinci, but will it allow them to find additional progress every time? Can't tell, but the defense matrix into the Malga is no joke.
Yeah, the defense matrix is an incredibly good tool to not allow that Malga to sustain through the E. I'm forgetting the name of the ability all of a sudden.
Cardiac Overdrive.
Cardiac Overdrive, thank you very much. And right now we're just kind of in a stalemate in this point. There's a good nade, but better Suzu. And an opposing nade. You do not have a Kiriko DaVinci. You cannot cleanse that, and Minecarta knows that. The follow-up is there off the back of the Ana. And Emon, I gotta be honest, this is really impressive stuff of deciding to just play retroactively all the tanks that Impure is playing and looking better on them. Impure has got to hate that. Now going on to Emon's opening pick of Sigma.
See if it works any better. Sigma into the Malga, very polar. If you get hit by Stomp, you kind of just die. If you don't get hit by Stomp, you can find a lot of value. Shield and Grasp both are great at denying himself heal from his shout. But straight in is Emon. Takes a lot of damage, but has the Kitsy to back it up.
Yeah, and a great Suzu there from Johnny G. Beast does fall, but a ton of space, ton of damage has been made. Trent has been taken out, and that's your primary healing. Big Sam too, and after that, it's going to be clean pickings here for Hebron. Emon has to be careful, but they have their Kiriko with them. Johnny G doing a great job at supporting their front line. Fantastic Suzu so far, but that's an opening pick that you want.
Yeah, Radar gives over a bit of a freebie. Emon delays with a quick run cycle, but you need to back out, and you can't do that with no mini Carter. Honestly, the way you're giving over these deaths, if you escape, you can maybe try and fight this, but they want to keep going now. Blossom in the cage. Oh, would have been huge, but he's rocked. Oh. The rock saves DaVinci, and a nano boost to boot makes it easier. Minute on the bank as they find the time bank extension will be allowed through into the second phase of the map.
Yeah, Hebron really struggled there, losing Mini Carter very early in the fight, as well as Beast, who came back, tried to use that Death Blossom. It was a good effort there with the Cage and Death Blossom combo, but yeah, Impure coming up so big with the accretion, cancelling out that ultimate, and then Nano to boot. Now, the aim of the game here for DaVinci is taking this high ground. You have to get Raidra off this high ground, otherwise they're just going to cause devastation with this upcoming OC.
Indeed. High ground there to be assailed. Dawn runs there early, the rest of you no help, and that does cost Dino his life. Jump through, won't catch Impure, so that Grasp will allow a relatively safe disengage. Good cleanse, actually. DPSing.
Johnny! Three for Johnny on the Kiriko. Oh god, the strongest kunai in the West.
That's the real Johnny G. See this in a Super TF video. That is ridiculous. Listen, you got Nano, you got Clock, you got Kitsu. Hebron, all the ability in the world to take these fights, but DaVinci as well, good ults.
Mine can't set off for a nade there. Mine can't set off for a nasty nade there. Gets the pick onto Big Sam. That is such an aggressive angle there, but the rest of your team doesn't really have your undying support. It was a creative attempt there, but it's only Beast left in this one. But not a lot of members for DaVinci either, so they can't really take too much space. And they're only going to get clock progress now, so...
Have to be worried about the recontest. But that being said, for that recontest, they have 5 ults. So, I don't think they're that stressed about it, all things considered. Like a Flux combined with, well, anything, really just shooting, should be enough to secure the fight win. Mini Carter could try and sleep it. That would be humongous value if it connects.
Yeah, on the low ground here, DaVinci there. This is the space they need to control here, but Emon is going to be so good at coming down off this high ground. Beast with the Nano. The Reaper finds 3, and it's just dead only. Just chilling back on the Anran, and this is going to be a pretty bad stagger kill, I think, if they're not able to get out.
Yeah, let's see if that ends up happening, and it seems like Dino has been able to extricate themselves. Unless Johnny G does something truly special once more, but we'll chill. Yeah, it's all well and good having 5 ults, but if you don't actually use them, your opponents will just do so first. Just the Nano into Beast, an easy 3k. Hebron finding another stop. A minute left to go. It is kind of lost by territory here. Again, great opportunity for DaVinci, but they need to actually press the buttons.
Yeah, Emong pushed off the high ground. It's going to be nice. Impure is able to take so much space. The dynamite is big there from Hagazi, but a great Suzu. Johnny G with these Suzus has been impeccably timed. A very aggressive rush is nowhere near the fight. Raidra now on this Ash, able to pick up a great kill. Oh my god, the flick onto Dino. Resurrected though, and now can help follow up on this damage from Impure. Raidra running for their life. Throwing out the dynamite as a Hail Mary effort. Johnny G still alive, and Mini Carter too. Whoa! These supports are out damaging the DPS on the side of DaVinci like it's just another day at the office. Both supports are online here for Hebron in this last fight. Nano Booths both placed down, and Beast finds 2 with the Death Blossom. There is a third. What an incredible showing here from Beast on the Tracer, on the Reaper. Truly a carry pick in this second round on Hollywood. Hebron 2-0 up now in our series.
But they are. DaVinci, unfortunately, didn't have the success they were looking for. Wasn't a bad performance from them by any means, but unfortunately, when it into Beast Reaper, was simply too much. Nano Blossom. It's like it's 2017 again, Matt.
Oh, I'm half expecting. Yeah, I'm half expecting some Nano Blaze to come out too. It makes me feel good. Yeah, I mean, I want to highlight a few players here, right? You know, on the side of DaVinci. Oh, sorry, on the side of Hebron, I apologize. Beast, obviously, on this Reaper did a great job. Mini Carter and Johnny G on the backline, just picking up so many kills. Johnny G just walked into DaVinci and got 3 kills. We were sitting here after the first round going, all right, this is all Emong, this is all Radria. They were both relatively quiet in that second round. It was all Beast, and it was all the supports for this team that just really, really came alive. Great plays from DaVinci as well, but I mean, clearly they need to do more because Hebron had just taken things to another level.
That Ana kill onto the Ash was actually just goofy. Just stole his lunch money straight up. It's hard to win duels close ranges. Ana, your hitbox is hard to manipulate effectively. You have no mobility. Once you're committed, you're stuck there, so you just have to hit the shots. And if you do, I mean, pat on the back. And of course, Johnny G, not even a third DPS. That's like tank line positioning on Kiri. More than half the time. Worked out bloody well for him. I can't even put my hat to him and say, well played.
Yeah, honestly, so far, our last match and this match, probably the strongest showing from a backline we've seen so far, just in terms of just mechanics and being able to pick up kills. Like that really is, I feel, at this level, what separates a good backline from a great backline is if your supports are able to not only be in good positions to support your front, to support your off angles on the DPS, but also to go, hey, I'm the spot where I can pick up kills, and they do it. The main thing is that they're being uncontested. I feel like we're seeing maybe some target call miscommunication from DaVinci, because there's a lot of fights where they become split, and then their front line and their back line is so far, and then that's where we're seeing Johnny G just walk through and kill 3. So clearly some target priority needs to be cleaned up here from DaVinci, but we did see a lot of good play, especially third point on their defense. They actually did a really, really good job at holding that down.
Yeah, it was well played more than a couple of times from DaVinci. As you mentioned, that third point defense worked out pretty well for him. Some lovely DPS picks, nobody giving over mistakes, opportunities to be punished from your opposition. But it wasn't enough, right? And unfortunately, not going to find many areas across Overwatch like third point Hollywood. It's quite defend decided, right? And so when we're thinking about what they need to do for this veto now, is there anything I can think of they should ban specifically? I can't really, right? I mean, they kind of played everything so far. They played Haz, they played Malga, they played Sig. They look great in all of them. The Reaper was great, the Kiri was great, the Ana was great, the Bat was great, the Illari was great, the Soldier was great, the Pharah was great. So
what do you do? What do you ban? I think tank banning is out of the question. I think there's too much flexibility there. You can't really ban a tank if you're DaVinci. I think targeting the backline might be a bit better. I think if it were me, I would target probably the Kiriko, because Johnny G has just kept so many fights alive by just having incredibly well-timed Suzus. The Ana is still scary, but at least we were seeing a bit of an Ana mirror there as well. So at least then if Mini Carter is playing the Ana, you can mirror it. Then your nades can maybe get as much impact, without the Kiriko being there from Johnny G. Because we've seen flexibility from everyone. We'll have to see if support bans come out, can Hebron's backline be as flexible as we've seen from the rest of them?
We'll simply have to wait and see. All we can do. I think the backline flexibility needs to come through necessarily. I mean, they've already shown multiple heroes. We haven't seen the Lucio pop out, so I feel like no matter which hero you ban from the backline, they'll have something that is playable for them. Be it like an Ana Ilari, Ana Bass.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit weird, sure, but they're not. I don't think they're going to be heavily pressured enough to really worry about it because their opponent's not playing like Tracer, especially. It's like really one-tricking that to put the pressure on, like a Winston. The backline, I think, hasn't really been tested. They've kind of been allowed to sit back, shoot their guns, and find value off the back of that. So I do think the flexibility of the backline has been strong enough so far.
Yeah, sit back. I don't know about sitting back for Johnny G.
They had the option to.
Johnny G's more sitting, like, eyes basically touching the monitor, pressing the W key, foot down to the floor. Because... I think, like you said, the backline's not really being contested, not really being tested, and Johnny G just should not be able to get away with that. I mean, Johnny G does clearly have good mechanics on the Kiri, but even then, a Kiriko should not be getting away with just walking forward into your team.
Yeah.
You
kind of need to not do that. It's there's a reason you don't see Shu do that every single fight. Right? Because not gameplay optimal in any way, shape, or form. So I feel like you just need to shoot the Kiri if the Kiri is inting. I am hearing a sub is happening, not sure quite who just yet, but we can kind of assume it would be from the side of DaVinci. I think some added flexibility here would be very nice because what they're currently playing hasn't really worked out so far. But what specifically I could point to maybe wish for, unfortunately, nothing comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean, Impure is struggling a little bit in the tank trade, but at the same time is actually showing a good amount of flexibility. We saw the Haz, we saw the Malga, both actually doing quite well. The Sigma pick helped them get 0.1 on attack very convincingly. So with again good mechanics, Impure clearly does have that going for them. So if I were to guess, it will probably be a EPS swap because Beast and Relia are just really, really difficult to play into, and I think DaVinci are maybe looking for an answer in that DPS duel. I'm interested again to see what map we go to because I did understand the idea behind it. Because again, Hollywood, like we said before, is quite a good Hazard map, but they didn't actually end up playing that much Hazard. And it just kind of played into Hebron. They were able to play the long sight line, rely on the mechanics, get that damage down before DaVinci could even really get in. So I would expect we see something a little bit more enclosed, maybe force them into the Malga mirror. I think would probably be the best bet for DaVinci.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad idea whatsoever. It would allow you to not worry too much about the DPS, just like whack them on like Reaper, Venture, something, and then just like spam ults in, kind of play more of the ult rotate and the mechanics. But I think that's a very valid idea, honestly. I do think you are right in that. Just remains to be seen about whether they want to actually do that or whether the swaps they make are so wholesale that they're going to have to look at something completely different as well. We're in a very much a position in the game where we don't quite know what can happen next. I can tell you, at the least, that I would say the best map to force Amalgamira would be something like Busan would work for decent amounts of it.
Yeah. Yep.
But I don't think this is a great pool for it, honestly. I'm looking at everything we kind of have available. Colosseo, maybe?
I think Colosseo would probably be quite a good bet.
Yeah.
You've got these.
New Junk City. I think
okay. Well, yeah.
That would be it. Yeah. Go New Junk.
Go New Junk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we saw some glimmers of hope. I think this is definitely a closer series than our last. DaVinci definitely have a shot at this. Like, I can genuinely see them taking a map pick. I can see them doing it. If we do know now, we have confirmation that DaVinci are the ones who are subbing out play. We're not sure who, what role yet. But if they are going to be switching things up, maybe those fresh hands can really make a difference, because I think if they get someone in who can just start popping off, I think the rest of the team will follow. I feel like this to me feels like a team that it's just about teetering from taking the driver's seat. They had a lot of strong fights, but the main reason they were doing so well on Third Point to me was more of a comp diff. You know? Was that the Malga is just so strong there, and that we just didn't see Hebron wanna flex to that in that moment. So we will see going into our next map.
Yeah, all we can do is wait and see. Oh, no, just had map come through. So going to be Esperanza. I think is a pretty valid pick. Curious to see what the bans are, but I do quite like the idea you mentioned previously, Nat, of the Malga mirror. Malga as well. I think some interesting heroes you can play around it. But with the D.Va ban, it appears that they are creating this kind of use case where they have to play the Malga.
Yeah, there are some points here that are really conducive to the Malga. I feel, especially stuff like Palace, with those like kind of tight high grounds, those slams from the Malga, you can pick up multiple kills there for sure. And I'm really interested to see what Beast plays, because we've been seeing some unconventional picks, right? We don't see too much Reaper really these days. It's not really super conducive of the meta. And we saw a bit of Pharah as well. So I'm really excited to see what Beast wants to play. We could be seeing Tracer. We see a lot of these multi-angle dive comps. Maybe we see Bull. That could work really, really well. But we're seeing bans come through. D.Va and Ana, which banning out, I'm not sure who banned what. If DaVinci are banning the Ana,
We've been
totally
D.Va
fair.
first. So DaVinci would ban the D.Va. Hebron banned the Ana, I believe.
Interesting. Very interesting. I'm surprised by that, because I feel like DaVinci, I was expecting them to want to get rid of Mini Carter's Ana.
Yeah, the Ana ban is a bit strange. I guess they think nanocycles are annoying. Maybe I think they just don't want to deal with it, to be honest. Other way around? Oh, my mistake.
Okay, I was gonna say. Yeah, so DaVinci did ban Ana. Hebron banning the D.Va, so maybe they're looking to play something that D.Va is good at punishing. Maybe they want to play, something a bit divey. Maybe it's the Wrecking Ball or Winston or even Hazard. D.Va can be quite good at peeling for that Hazard, for those Hazard engages. So probably we will see something divey again. Beast possibly on the Tracer, which I'd love to see more of. Beast looked really, really comfortable in that Tracer. Very good mechanics. But DaVinci really have to step it up here. They really have to bring their A game.
All they can do, lock in as hard as humanly possible. Try and see what they can do to find a higher level of individual value, because I do think it has been that differential that has been such an issue for them. It feels like anytime they're close to finding large scale success, there's somebody who just will hit a shot.
Yeah.
And it feels terrible, but unfortunately there's only so much macro correct hero pick rotations you can make before you just get shot, and you need to be able to shoot them back. Hebron has been happening for them. DaVinci, if they can match their level of output, then I think they'll be able to win this game.
Yeah, Hebron just lost hero plays, like we've been saying. Mechanics off the charts. I could honestly watch Mini Carter and Johnny G for days. They've just been so fun to watch, and they're just kind of winning duels that they should just not be. We are coming on to Esperanza now. I'm excited to see what our players are going to be picking. Now, are we going to be seeing more stuff from Impure? Trying to flex onto heroes. We see so much flexibility here from Emong on this tank on the side of Hebron. Actually going to be looking to go for this Malga pick and a bit more Cat Bastion here for the side of Hebron. Beast, I believe it was Radria who was playing this Bastion previously. And it'll be interesting to see what Beast can muster up, because before we would have seen a flip in terms of these DPS roles with Beast on the Tracer. And Radiator seems to have a really, really good level of tracking. So the Tracer could be really, really scary for DaVinci.
Both these heroes could be scary. Again, nobody can reach out and touch this Bastion. They have no ability to shoot it down. The best counter is unironically Natural, who does almost like 12 damage with that Medi Blaster. Hebron in strong position compositionally, but they have to make it stick.
Yeah, interesting comp from DaVinci with a double speed. They're looking to play super fast. There's not a lot of sustain, really, and Raider will follow up on that damage onto Big Sam in a big way. And, I mean, brass tacks, Beck, I do not like this backline for DaVinci. You have no sustain, no burst heals really to speak of. I mean, I guess you've got the torpedoes, but they have cast time. It's not consistent, and Impure is probably going to be blowing up every single fight.
I wouldn't play his background if I could help it, but maybe it's a comfort thing. Either way, his cat is still unchecked, but the Emray is going to do his best to deal. Has to keep 1 HP and chase. No need for the forms to get an early pick, but now 4v5. DaVinci have to consider whether they even want to take this fight at all, or whether they're simply going to back out and try and recontest as 5 forward spawns through for free. It's been a fight and change. Hebron more than the driver's seat right now, but they are absolutely cruising. DaVinci needs to wrest back control.
Yeah, already getting the forward spawns. That's really, really bad for DaVinci here. Beast finds an opening pick onto Big Sam. Finds the entire backline for free on a silver down platter and all. Dine Only is barely able to get out. Impure, just the single man left on this front line as everyone has a car. And Impure might even fall too to the Bastion. Are you kidding me?
That's just ridiculous so far. He didn't have to use the form for it. Pops it this time. Decides not even to re-peek, but just a setup, and with ult and nade both can do a ridiculous amount of value to somebody who's not looking.
Yeah, watch out, Natural. There's a Bastion. Chill on the roof. This is some Batman Arkham positioning here right now. So many ults on the board here for Hebron. Impure just not getting the help they need. Good suited there, keeping Radiator up. This is pure dominance here, Spec. I think we're going to be seeing a full cap anytime soon.
Yeah. Be pretty surprised if it didn't happen. There's a Tracer left alive of Hazuki. And the Tracer simply isn't enough to make really much of anything happen. Impure stomped, not stunned, takes the damage, but into the Malga, you simply can't stay close for long. Emong does need the cage to stay active that deep, but might have it. Punch attempted, not succeeded. 4 meters left to go, and someone has to stay on the card.
Yeah, overrun here.
The override as well. It's crazy.
Joking? Beast just cannot be stopped here on the Bastion, taking out the Juno 2, and it's almost dead and done. Is there even a touch? Impure tries. That Bastion just staring you down. I don't think they have a touch here. And Hakazi blows up the Johnny G, the man, the myth, the legend on the Kiriko. Wraps things up here for Hebron. And yeah, I think DaVinci, maybe they were boomed. Don't know what it was, but that was just not even close for a second. I don't think a single member of Hebron even died.
You might be right, honestly, which is a bit of a terrifying idea here.
I don't think there was a single elimination there from DaVinci.
That's a bit crazy.
God.
Not the map you necessarily want. Let's see. Check the death column. Nope, you're right. Nobody died.
Wow.
Rough.
Okay.
Rough.
That is rough. Hebron so far in this broadcast looking like the strongest team to me, Spectre, and I don't know about you. But honestly, even when they were challenged, that last map, they were just not challenged at all. That was just free reign for them. Even when they were challenged, I feel like we saw in this series every single player be able to claw their way out with just mechanics and pop off potential. Every single member of that team. And I think this is another team to really be looking out for in the upper bracket.
Yeah, absolutely a terrifying team to see. But the next game will be tomorrow. I do believe in the upper bracket. I believe we're going to go to a short break after this, the lower bracket match we have previously promised you. So I believe that's going to be DaVinci playing once more. So we're going to vanish for a bit to get their next game set up, and we'll see you again in a little bit.